Welcome, everybody, to episode 6 of the Under 1 Million podcast, the podcast based on the Deserving Playlist series on Spotify. And I am here with my guest. Go ahead and take it away.
What's up, man? First of all, thank you for having me. Stage name is Don Kenobi from Cleveland, Ohio, Midwestern my whole life. A little bit about me, been doing this for about 6.5 years now, put in about 200 songs on the internet between SoundCloud and, the new platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. 3 albums, 4 EPs, just been grinding, man. Enjoying the journey. Nothing more to it.
Dope. Again, I appreciate you being here as well. Yeah, man. I the song that I placed on the playlist by you was PSA featuring Mark Battles, and that takes me in to my first question because I've been a follower of Mark Battles for a while, and I just want to know how you came across that feature, how you guys connected, and how that went.
It was actually pretty organic, honestly. He was reaching out last year for openers for the Midwest. So there was Dayton, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. So I reached out to his management, got me booked in for Dayton and Indianapolis. Right when I got to the first show in Dayton, met him, dapped it up with him, kicked it for a little bit. He kind of gave me some game. Super cool dude, real humble. Did the shows. It was a good ass time. And then we kind of went our separate ways. And then about 2 months later, I reached out to his management, just seeing how much a feature would cost. And at the time, he's saying it was about $1,000. But since we kicked it and chatted it up, he offered me or charged me $300. So I was like, no brainer. My homie LA Justice, who lives in Portugal, cooked me up the beat, sent it over within a day after I told him, like, yo, I've tried to get a big placement for you because he's, on the up and up as well. So he cooked up a beat, sent it over. I laid my verse down, sent it to Mark about 2 days later, and he sent it back within like a week or so. And then I was probably sitting on it for 5 or 6 months because I've kind of been mapping out the whole year, and I kind of wanted that to be in the middle of the year. So it all worked out in the end. That was dope.
I gotta say this before we move on because I get so many artists that like reach out either for features or ask me like, oh, how do I reach out for features and things like that. You gotta pay for most of these features. Like you gotta be so lucky to get a free feature. So anybody listening that's an artist, what he just explained is the correct way to go about it. So don't ask me again.
He did me a solid. He cut his feature price more than in half. So $300. We put about like I put like 250 in promotion and stuff like that, and it's already doing good streaming numbers wise. So I think within like a year and a half or 2 years, I'll probably recoup that $300 for the feature. So I mean, it pays off in the end, and it's good exposure. I mean, he's definitely a dope artist who's been grinding for years on years. So like, I mean, I dig his independent route, and now he's with like Quality Control and stuff like that. But he's still very.
Oh, really? Actually, Mark's with Quality Control now.
Yeah, he did like a partnership. He's still independent technically, but his partnership is with Quality Control.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been a super dope artist to me. Have you or did he share anything with you that you would be willing to share with everybody, with just knowledge wise or anything like that?
I mean, he was, like I said, he was pretty down to earth dude. He was just telling me to always enjoy the moments of the highs and lows of it. And he's like, when you start getting those highs, you just got to roll with it and continue to build off that, because like this whole game is about momentum. As you can see, like if you post something with a Mark Battles name, the average listener that follows you is going to be like, oh, like now he's stepping into like a new level. So you got to kind of continue to build off that. And that's what I kind of peep game from him from. He was cool.
Now you said you're from Cleveland, Ohio. I gotta ask you, are you an Ohio State fan?
I am, bro.
Oh boy.
Oh, I mean, they had no chance, bro. It was depressing. But
I didn't think so either, to be honest. But you never know. It's one game.
I still threw 100 money line on the Buckeyes winning, but that shit was over real fast. You could tell. Just
it was. That man, what's his last name? I can't think of Devontae's last name now.
Devontae Smith.
Bro, that kid
gets open. I don't know how he gets open it's crazy.
And he's
It can
super small too for be at that level playing for Bama. I mean, you can be a small receiver, but to be that good and that
that's
small
my
is
that's my only concern. Like if he could stay healthy in the NFL, he'll be dirty. But he's so small, like one big hit could definitely put him out. But
it's true. That's true. I would hate to see that, and I was kind of sad to see him go out of the game like at halftime around whenever it was because I want to see how many catches he got. I think he had like 12 at halftime already.
I was texting my brother. I was like, he's gonna have probably 20 receptions by the end of this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, for real, man. I feel for you though. I know you're hurting over there. It's okay. Don't
Hey,
you
at
gotta
least
show too much emotion.
at least I got the Browns, man. That's all I care about right now.
You're right about that. When do they play?
They're Saturday or Sunday 3:05 against the Chiefs. So we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, this is the first time they've been in the playoffs in like 30 years, ain't it?
My whole life, they were in the playoffs 2001.
Okay.
I was 5 years old, so I don't even fucking remember that shit. I'd look back and watch the game, but this is like the first time that I can appreciate it.
Yeah, man, they're doing well. I always like to see an underdog, so I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't really paid much attention to the NFL this year for some reason. I don't know what it is about. I think it might have something to do with like the no fans or the COVID. It just threw me off. I don't know what it is.
It's definitely tough to like view on TV with no fans.
It is.
Same with basketball though. Like it looks goofy. I can't really rock with it.
I didn't mind basketball when it was in the bubble too
That
much.
wasn't good, yeah, because it was very enclosed. Like
Right.
it didn't look, but now like they're playing at the stadiums, it just an empty arena is just like,
I noticed in the NFL they started trying to do focus with their cameras, so it's like they try to blur
yeah,
out the back. I thought that was funny.
straight 8K cameras focus
Yeah.
on the players, can't see anything behind. Yeah, no, I keep that.
um, excuse me, but yeah, I wanted to ask you because I've been vocal in a past interview about and I forget who I was talking with when I was talking about this, but I call it the Russ formula.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that you at least know of and you've followed his formula. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But
You can tell by the artwork, I mean, I got it just from him, man. Like I've been listening to Russ since 2016, 2017. And I think the first song I ever heard from him was Davidson. And I knew there was something special about him. And I dig back into his old catalog. And during that time, he was dropping the song a week. So it was easy to become a fan. And that's like kind of like the same approach that I've been rolling with for the last, 3 years. I'll drop an album every year and a half or so, but mainly like I focus on just single after single. And, it's definitely catapulting, getting bigger and bigger.
I'm taking a similar process with my own music myself, but I wanted to specifically get into the cover art that you mentioned. Because I've been outspoken about not being a fan of the like just generic cover arts. Then you change the color, change the logo, and change the name. I'm not saying that has any effect on your music whatsoever, because your music is incredibly dope. But explain to me, or at least try to change my mind, why you do it and the necessity for it.
I think personally, just for my instance, it's something I can do myself, and I don't have to pay somebody to make a cover art every single time. And I'm the type of person that when I want something, I want it done now. So I take it into my own hands and do it. I'm saving money. I mean, there's some people that cover art's $50 to $100 per single. If I want to drop 30 singles in a year, why am I paying $3,000 for just cover art when I can use that $3,000 to maybe promote it or use it to make videos or Instagram promotion, Spotify placements and shit like that. So I kind of like took it as a cost thing. And I kind of like the consistency of how I made my Instagram page, like my page, all the songs on the one column all the way down. So if you're a new fan, you can, once you realize that those are songs, they can just keep scrolling down and just catching those minute clips over and over. And it's easy to become a fan just from the Instagram page. And then you can dive into the music. So it's more of a cost thing for me.
It makes sense. And that honestly, I mean, it makes total sense because that's how I found you. Well, at least what caught my eye. And when I was like, oh, this is a nice, organized Instagram page. And, it was very easy to go through, catch the quick snippets of all your records and things like that. So I get it. I guess I wanted to add, just to play devil's advocate here, because I mean, I do all my cover art myself and it I just do whatever kind of I feel
Right.
like it is. But I definitely get what you mean. To me, it could be a time saver because creating something from
Absolutely.
scratch that's intricate, it does take time.
Yeah.
And damn, you might be changing my mind here. I gotta
Yeah.
start doing that.
For all right, for instance, okay, so it was one day in like last January. I literally made about 35 cover arts within a 6 hour span. And then the next day I uploaded everything for the year. I uploaded pretty much everything mid-January for all the music I dropped this or last year. So I
Okay.
was done with that. So like it was literally that's to the side and I can just focus on music for the next year. So I literally had all the singles done. I threw in like Juiced Up, if you ever heard that one. And
I
uh
listened through your whole catalog today, so
yeah, yeah. And like PSA, I threw it in a little bit later. But everything else was already uploaded and stuff, so I didn't have to worry about that. That's one less thing to stress about. And I only took one day to make it all and one day to upload it. So then this whole year, I've been working on my album, which I just finished 2 days ago. For the last year and a half, I've been working on it. So I just wanted to get that out of sight, out of mind. Know when the songs are coming out. I kind of space it every week, every 2 weeks, kind of, like that. But I don't know. Just one less thing to worry about because it's only me doing it. Like
right.
I don't have a huge team. I have like homies that help me with videos and being there for lighting and shit like that. So you got to just use your time
It
as
makes sense.
effectively as possible.
I guess you're kind of saying it's more for the business aspect of the music than the artistic side.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because
Right.
I love good cover art, especially for like a project. I would never make a project with like that simple of cover art. So like my EPs and albums, like I take more time with a reason behind the picture that I want. Because I always wanted my face on all the projects so they can see it. And the singles, and it kind of differentiates. You know that there's a single because it's this cover art, and it's a project because it's this cover art.
That makes sense because I did notice you do have actual cover arts for your old albums.
Yeah,
Your last album that came out last year, I believe, or not, well, not anymore, in 2019.
right, right. Full
Yeah.
circle.
Explain that cover art and what that all meant to you because I was looking at it and I'm a big cover
Yeah.
art geek myself, so I don't know, I try to analyze everything. What was that about for you?
It was crazy because um that picture was the old studio that I used to go to in Akron when I started making music from like 18 to 21. Um so I kind of wanted to bring homage back to where it all started. And it was kind of funny because my cameraman who I met a year and a half ago, Tony Zawari Productions, his dad's drive-through store was literally 200 feet away, and I never knew like of that place. And then it was literally there the whole time. So it's like when I showed him where the studio was to take the picture, he's like, "Bro, check this out." We went to the fucking drive-through, and his dad was it's his dad's spot. So like it just reassured that it was everything that I wanted. So we took the picture there. It just kind of symbolizes where it all began. And I in that album, I'm more reflective in my bars. It's because a lot of it, like Testimony, Album Mode, No Control, a lot of those songs are about 3 years old. So they've I've had them and held on to them for a while because I wanted them to be on a project when I was comfortable and like this is it, and then go from there.
God. Because I did listen to that whole album today, and it's a phenomenal album, by the way. You did a
Shit, bro.
great job.
I still love it, man. It's like
Yeah,
a lot of songs, after a while you kind of get old with it, but the album I go back to it time to time, and I still rock with it, most of it.
yeah. It did not have a dated sound whatsoever. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It
definitely.
timeless so far. It's only been a couple years, but
Only been a year, yeah. But it's cool.
keep
It's a good start.
yeah, for sure. The few of the records on there, well, most of them, to be honest, you have a Mac Miller esque vibe.
Yeah,
On
that's my dog, man. That's my favorite.
yeah, rest in peace. Because was a big fan of Mac Miller, and that was uh, probably out of all of these, deaths that have been happening, unfortunately, probably hit me the hardest, or at least the most at home.
Yeah.
Um, what about Mac Miller's vibe and sound, inspired you to make the music that you do?
It's crazy, man, because like he's 2 years older than me, so I kind of like I grew up with him the same way. Like when Best Day Ever and Kids was like out, he was a high school kid. He was a senior and I was a sophomore or a freshman. So like I felt like everything that he was saying, and then he went to that Faces era where you start questioning things and get more introspective. And I just felt like I was going on this journey with him, and just seeing his music evolve from best day ever to like what it was on circles and swimming. It's just like what epitomizes my love for music. Just to see that growth in that 8 year span is just like it's super inspiring. And then just being a part of it, like I watched all his, his day-to-day videos, the most dope show. Like I felt like I knew him, dude. I felt like I knew his friends. I felt like I connected like how his relationship with his mom is, because I have a similar relationship with my mom. It's just like both ethnic background a little bit. So it's just like it it was definitely hard for me, like when he passed away. Like I still have sad ass days when I think about it, listening to his music, and realizing that he's not here anymore. So it's just tough. But he's definitely my favorite by far.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact year. It's probably 2008, something like that. I actually got a chance to see him live in Boca. I'm in South Florida, so it's Boca Raton, and it was like pretty small amphitheater. You know what I mean? Probably only holds a few thousand people, and this was back when he was pretty much right on the verge of being a superstar.
Right.
And it was just he was just it just captured me. I don't know what it was about him, but it was just he was a phenomenal performer. Have you ever got a chance to see him live?
Yeah, I saw him a couple times.
Yeah,
It's
man.
he's definitely got better as he got older at performing. I mean, now he was getting to the point where he can do everything live band and everything. He was becoming everything that he knew what he when he was 18. Like he knew what his sound was going to be like when he was 25. He just wasn't there yet, and he finally got to that spot by 25, 26. But
Yeah, man.
definitely,
The one record that sticks out of my mind is it's called Knock Knock, I think, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah, but that song came on, and it was kind of weird because I was like somewhat older. I think I was like 18, something like that, and pretty much everyone in the crowd was like 13-year-old kids, and I was like, oh,
right,
this is kind of weird, but I
yeah.
didn't give a fuck. It was still fun,
Yeah.
just vibing.
No, his concerts are a good time. Like it's it's just like a party pretty much. It's just fun.
Absolutely.
It's a good time.
That being said, who do you think is the best performer in the hip hop world?
It's hard for me to say because there's probably artists I haven't seen, but
Right.
I don't know if you know who Toby Nawahi is.
I've heard the name. I've honestly never heard a record though.
Fucking unreal. He is by far the best performer I've ever seen in my life. I watched him at the Grog Shop in Cleveland about a year and a half ago. It's a small venue. Maybe cap is like 1,500 range. Had that completely sold out, but he performed for like an hour and a half, and I don't think he missed a single lyric. Live band and everything. It was amazing. And like I just found out about him like 2 weeks before that concert, and I was like, oh, he's coming to Cleveland. So my homie Debs, me and him went to the show. I actually reached out to his manager, and I was like, hey, do you guys need any openers? Blah blah blah. And they're like, no, we're already booked. But if you want to come backstage and meet him, come through. Just see
Ooh.
what's up. So we met him. It was a good ass time, dude. Got to watch the show literally like third row. Pretty much could touch him, dude. Like that's how close we were. And he was flawless, man. He's 100% independent, and he's starting to get seen everywhere now. So I would say him number one. Machine Gun Kelly's pretty crazy. He's super good. Performed live. I've seen him at least 7 or 8 times just from being from Cleveland.
I'm a fan of his music, not so much personally. I just don't vibe with his personality, but
Right. I think he's misunderstood. It
as most artists probably are.
His artists are, yeah. Like I've been watching his day to days since he was 18. Like
Yeah.
I've been following his career forever. So like I feel like it's like a Mac Miller thing. Like I know him, and I know his friends. Like they walk around Cleveland like it's just like they're local celebrities. That's how it feels like. But yeah, they're way bigger than that.
It brings up a good point about the whole misunderstood thing, and just having the ability to separate someone's personality from their actual talent or their art.
Mm-hmm.
That's so important, and I feel like that's been lost. The longer
Definitely.
we get into this, whole microwave era and all this type of stuff,
Yeah.
it's definitely it's kind of sad now that I'm thinking about it
Yeah.
that we have to like, oh, if you said one thing that I didn't like, then your whole catalog is shit.
Right.
Like what what kind of like outlook is that? How can we like anything if that's the case? Nobody's perfect.
I think of myself like I fall victim to that, but not to like that extent where like I don't listen to him ever again. But like if I get a bad vibe, because I watch a lot of interviews, and if I like don't seem like I jive with your personality, I'll still appreciate the music and respect the music, but I can't fully support you because I'm not really rocking with you. I
I
don't.
can understand that.
That's like where I'm at with some artists. I can acknowledge that they're great, they're technical, blah blah blah, but like if the personality isn't that great, like I can find artists that have both and
True.
rock. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much talent in this world, and in this era of the internet, we're seeing more talent than ever before. Because like if I was in the 90s where I'm at in my career, no one would have a damn clue who I was except in this area. But now you can be everywhere. Like you live in Florida, you found me, and it's just like that would never happen
True.
20 years ago. So it's just like I don't know. That's how I feel.
It's a good point. Have you experienced any of that yet? In your own music, just somebody random in the comments saying, "Oh, why'd you say that?" and all that type of
Oh yeah, bro, all the time.
stuff.
So funny. That dude, all the time. Because I and the thing is like I promote my music a lot on Instagram, like using the ads and stuff. So I'll be in people's face that aren't really following me. So they say some outrageous shit. Like, and I don't me, like I'm very level headed and like I don't get too high, get too low. So it doesn't bother me, but I just like laugh. And I always give them a positive comment back just to make them feel like if they say some shitty shit, like I'll say something nice, just so they think about like, wow, why did I just do that? You know what I'm saying?
Gotta
Like,
make sure they know they're an asshole.
yeah, it doesn't affect me. Like I can get people to gas me up, and I can get people to shit on me, and I just won't. How I'm wired, like I just won't, respond to it because I know what I know about myself is the most important thing to me.
Of course. What's the craziest thing someone ever said to you?
Oh, bro, I've had people tell me, stop breathing and just, crazy shit. It's just like they would never say that in person.
Of course not.
So I laugh. And the thing is, like, and they definitely would not say it to me in person. I'm literally 6'5", 250. So
Oh, really? You're a big boy.
big. Yeah. So they're not gonna like. So I laugh. So I just like let them have their moment on the internet and feel tough, and they're still living the same lives. They're gonna do it to the next person. So it's whatever.
Damn, I didn't know you were that big, man. Do you feel like you tout? Because I feel like not most, but a lot of artists are kind of small. I'm small. I'm 5'8". Do you feel like a giant in this world?
It's weird, man. It's so weird. Like last year, I saw Russ's. I was at Russ's album release party in January in New York City, and he was literally like on a stage about 3 feet higher than the ground, and I was like eye contact because I was literally like 10 inches away from him. And it was just funny, like how much taller I'm than most people. People hate me at concerts because I'm just blocking their view and shit.
Oh yeah, man. Get out of the front row.
Girls
We
are
need our view.
girls are straight like grinding on me, hoping that I'll let them swoop in front of me, not to like have a good time, but just to get a fucking better view. It's just funny.
Trying to play you on that.
They do, and I let it happen. I was like, all right, like I know what you want, so you can watch the show closely.
Get a good grind out of it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, fuck it.
What's some of the like? Can you tell me any crazy story that took place maybe after a show that you've done? I know you've been out there performing. A lot of artists that I interviewed, they haven't performed much because I'm in the again under 1 million category. So a lot of it's fresh starters or just getting out there. But I feel like you've been performing for quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been lucky to do at least 40 to 50 shows in the last like 3 or some years. But I think my favorite one was like last year. It was in Akron, so it's pretty much my hometown, about 30 minutes or so. And I was opening up for I forget what his fucking name is, dude. He signed to Young Money, and it was a big ass show, probably like 600 people. We
Caskey?
got Caskey, bro. Caskey, yeah.
I'm a big Caskey fan.
I can't believe I forgot that shit. I couldn't remember. So I opened up for him, and the show was crazy. Like he has some diehard fans like that I did not know about.
Yes.
They were like we got to the venue, and I pulled some bougie shit. I literally got a limo for my homies and us because it was our homecoming show, and I brought at least like 45, 50 people to the show, and I had like my closest homies, like 10 or 12 of us in the limo and stuff. Um, so we had the show, and it's a good ass time, and we're drinking after Kasky went on, and my homie Sam literally is fucked up, and this chick is like trying to have him go into the girls' bathroom with him to like hook up. Okay. So Sam stumbles into the girls' bathroom, and this cop sees it. Big ass lady, bro. Big ass lady cop sees Sam, grabs him, throws him on the ground, flips him over, and cuffs him because he thinks that he's like being creepy as shit, like going into the girls' bathroom. And then like two more cops like knee him on the neck and just like threaten to arrest him. And I'm like, this is not how it's going on, blah blah blah. We had to get him bailed out because they were ready to take him downtown, dude. It was just like dumb as shit. So I was like, that was crazy. Then that same night we went to the bars back home, and I must have had a weird aura where people were like pissed at me or something because like two people confronted me trying to fight for no reason. Literally, because I think I had this all red jumpsuit on, and I think people were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Ah,
At a local hometown bar. It
gotta be
was
careful with them colors, man.
bro. That's what I'm saying. And where I grew up, dude, is not. It's a nice like suburban area. It's not crazy, but like they literally were like just trying to start shit, and it was just the whole night was just fucking weird after that concert. But it was funny. It was a good time.
I feel like Caskey's a wild dude, man. Because I came
Yeah.
across him a long time ago. Actually, my boy Pompano Jones is his name. He put me on,
Mhm.
and I used to host an old podcast. Well, it wasn't really a podcast back then. I guess it was just
Right.
I don't know, whatever. It was a podcast, and I reached out to him. We would play music at the end of the podcast, whatever. It's kind of like
Mhm.
I don't know if you listen to Joe Budden's podcast at all. Similar,
Not
yeah,
much.
similar format. And he was one of the records that I wanted to play, so I had to reach out to him. Obviously get permission.
Mhm.
And he was super cool. He ended up actually sending me like a bunch of mixtapes back when mixtapes actually still existed. Um, and it was super, but I got the feeling he's a wild dude.
Yeah, bro, he's definitely wild. Like I heard his music. He had a song called "Weak Stomach" with MGK a while back.
Uh-huh.
Then I didn't hear about him for a while, and then a promoter that I'm in touch with, he's like, "Yo, I got this Kasky show lined up," and I was like, "Oh, I wonder how he's doing." When we pulled up to the venue, dude, he had at least 100 people outside waiting to get in. Like he's got a good ass fan base, and that's inspiring, man. That's super inspiring.
I feel like he's one that, and he's definitely got a cult
Oh,
following.
for sure,
And
for sure.
he actually surprised me when he signed with Cash Money, but then after the fact, it all made sense to me because I really don't think he gives a fuck about
Yeah,
the fans and all that. He just if people that like his music, he wants them to love it and for what it is.
yeah.
And I respect that. You know what I mean? He's not a clout chaser whatsoever,
No,
and just does his thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm jealous. I have to say, I'm super jealous.
I didn't get to meet him or talk with him and all, but his fans are crazy, bro. They were going hard for his songs. It was cool. It was definitely cool.
That's dope. I also saw, switching topics here a little bit. I saw
Mhm.
you did attend one of Cato's workshops that he does.
Yeah, yeah.
Been following him for a long time too. Man, I love his sound and his beats
Great
and
content. Yeah, beats are
yeah,
great.
the whole. I was a big follower of like Hobson and Strange Music back then, and what was it like meeting him? Well, let's just stick with that. What was it like meeting him for first question?
One of the best dudes, honestly. I still have a good relationship with him after that Sound Device tour. We went. It was December last year when I went to the Cleveland one. Um, Super humble, down to earth guy. The event was probably like 3 or 4 hours. Showed the music and stuff like that. He kind of gave his critiques and just spit game about the industry, about your royalties and how to get everything. Um, he stayed in touch though this whole time. Like I can
Yeah.
DM him whenever about music, and he'll hit me back every time. Like it was definitely worth the money to go. Got some good knowledge. Got me set up with all my royalties and stuff like that I didn't even know about. with like the publishing and mechanical royalties and stuff like that. Just an easy spot to do with the sound device, Song Trust, stuff like that. But yeah, he was a cool ass guy. I really like him. I actually just sent him my album 2 days ago, and he's gonna peep it and just give me some critiques on it to see if there's anything that he heard. Because I was like, I only send my music to about 2 or 3 people anyways, so I kind of get the same feedback from time to time. So I kind of wanted to go outside my little branch and see what he has to say with it, because he did rock with my music. He loved my dedication, and he was actually cool enough to post that video on his page of and I didn't even ask him to do that. Like it was just an organic, session kind of thing. And it probably got me like 400 followers in 24 hours, which is crazy.
Wow.
Just from his putting it out there.
He's very active on social media, and
Yeah.
he's floods my feed. Basically,
Yeah.
anytime I go on Instagram or whatever, he's there. I'm gonna see something that he's doing. But another one thing about him that I vibe with
Mhm.
heavy is, like you said, he's seems incredibly down to earth,
Yeah.
and just willing to share his knowledge.
Absolutely.
Um, it's something that's kind of a rarity, which I feel like it's getting more common now, but it is a rarity in the music business that people feel like they have to keep everything a secret.
Yeah.
What's one thing that sticks out in your mind that he shared, that you could share with everybody else?
Honestly, I think a big thing for him, what he sees in artists is just consistency. And that's something that he saw in me, that when I told him that I've dropped 125 songs and got this project and, you know, steadily saw the streams increase, he kind of was impressed by that. And he was starting to, he touched on it even more after that, how important when you're reaching out to bigger artists. Like if I reach out to a Mark Battles, and they're going to check your pages, they're going to see what kind of music you make, how much you post and stuff like that before they really give you a shot. So he pretty much is real big on, if it's going to be a full-time job, you got to act like it. So you got to be active on your socials, you got to be dropping music, you got to have visuals all the time, because there's 100 people that can do that, are doing the same thing. So how are you going to stand out if you're posting once a month and dropping 3 songs a year? You're not going to make it in today's society. Everything's so fast paced. The people that are kind of lethargic with their drops and stuff are going to be left behind. And that's what he kind of touched on the most.
uh, that's something I've struggled with a lot. You know what I mean? It's especially for somebody that, like me, I still got 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I gotta still make money and somehow, but it is something that I've gotten a little bit better at. But the main thing is like the mixing,
Mm-hmm.
because I finally learned how to mix my own shit. And I feel like that's a lot of what holds many underground artists back, is the weight for someone else to either, like you said earlier, make a cover art,
Mm-hmm.
mix your record, whatever it is. It's really difficult. So how have you kind of overcome that? And well, yeah, how have you overcome
I
that?
mean, for for a while, when I was going to the studio in Akron, I was always, I was set up 2 sessions a week, like 4 hour sessions, so 8 hours total. Between those 8 hours, I probably get 5 or 6 songs done that are, fully mixed and stuff like that. But it was pretty much after that place, kind of dipped off and I moved to Cleveland, it got a little bit harder trying to find people to mix my music. So, I did the thing where you send it out to different engineers, and it just wasn't the same. The sound is different. You're not in the same room with them. So it's hard to get what you actually want. And in the last 2 years, I found my homie Glenn, who mixed and mastered the whole album full circle, all of the singles this year and the whole album this year. So it's kind of a lucky instance finding the right person who kind of shares the same vision as me. He works a 9 to 5 right now, so he's kind of like, he's strapped for time. So I know when we're locked in the studio, it's got to be efficient. So I need to bring my A game and have all the vocals ready, all the ad libs lined up where I want it to be. So when he goes in there, it just plug and chug like what we're gonna do. So it's more so holding myself accountable to make sure I can feed it to the engineered to make it as smooth as possible. Because the engineer is the most important thing out of everything, in my opinion.
No, I would agree.
I could be a dope rapper, and if my shit sounds terrible, like no one's gonna listen.
Absolutely.
And vice versa, you can be terrible, but if you have an engineer that makes something sound crazy, people are gonna bump it. It's just they're the most important of the whole thing. I would say the engineer, then the producer, then the rapper. Because if you have beats that aren't mixed well and they don't hit, no one's gonna want to jive with it at a club or a party scene. So it's like, especially in today's age, people want beats that are banging and 808s clapping and shit like that. So it's definitely kind of surrounding yourself with the right team.
I agree. What do you look for in a beat? That's something I'd like to hear from a lot of artists I talk to. What do you look for?
If there's room for me to go wherever I want to go with it, I don't like beats that are just too much stuff in there where I can't go in a pocket and make my own flow. If I hear a beat that's very up pace and there's no direction for me to go, then I'm just gonna pass it and move on to something else. Because like right now, I'm kind of fucking with a singing rapping kind of deal with my music as I'm kind of experimenting the last like 6 months. So I want more open in my beats. So I want the drums hitting good, but I want just a lot of room where I can operate. I can rap or I could sing, or a hook has some layers in it where it doesn't sound too compressed and overwhelming. So it's just what I've been doing in the last probably year or so. I probably only work with 6 or 7 producers during this whole time. They are consistent, making beats and stuff like that. So I've been lucky just working with them.
When you are searching for instrumentals for a project or for whatever it is,
Yeah.
do you sit down with most of these producers and have like a beat created? Are you on the BeatStars or the SoundClicks trying to find beats like that? What's your process?
All of the beats that I've found were through YouTube or BeatStars, and I started fucking with those producers, and then I would reach out to them via Instagram or Twitter and started to build a relationship with them. So now I have a good relationship with like 2 or 3 producers where they're sending me beats that aren't on their beat pages, some exclusive stuff. So we kind of work hand in hand, because I always tell producers, like, I make a lot of music, so why aren't you need to be hitting me up, because you're going to be making money. Like there's a lot of producers that are like, don't send me beats, and they're always like, I need to send you beats, and I'm like, bro, I make a hell of music, so it'd be in your best interest to throw something at you, because likelihood I'm going to find something that I like, pay you, and we're going to make something, whether I drop it or not, because I probably have like 50 or 60 songs that no one will see the light of day, that I pay for the beats, made it, and I kind of moved on from it. But it's just how it is. It's how it goes. I can't drop something that is lesser quality than something 2 or 3 months ago.
Right. Where do you find the time, man? 200, like, you have an extensive catalog, and like I was going through your Spotify, and I noticed you even have a lot on there, and then I was looking through your Instagram, and I was like, wait a second, I didn't see this one on Spotify and all that.
And the SoundCloud's the craziest.
Yeah, same. Then I came across your SoundCloud. Yeah, I haven't gotten too deep into the SoundCloud yet, but I'm getting there.
There's some cool ones in there. Like a lot of them are when I was young, starting out, that I don't listen to now. But there's like one in every 5. Like I would be like, it's still pretty dope. I like it.
How do you make that choice, or what is it about a record that you say, okay, this one's not going on, I'm not distributing this one, but I still want to put this out there for people to hear?
Yeah, it's just more of a feeling. Like I make so much music now that it's just like second nature. It's like breathing. So when something, catches my ear after I mix it and master it, it's more of a feeling. So if I'm like, okay, this is a little bit special, I need to put this into the potential EP side, or this is definitely going to be on an album, or this is brand fucking new, I need to work on an EP with this kind of sound. And I kind of, distribute things in different parts. And then I have a tab of only singles where I'm going to drop. Like next year, I have the album already done, I have the EP done, and now I have a column where all the singles are going to drop after that. And there's probably like 24 to 25 songs that are mixed, mastered. I fuck with them. ready to roll, we're gonna drop them. So like, it's more so loving the process, enjoying it, and hopefully you strike gold with one of them. Because I might as well give myself as many chances as possible to get a hit. And I'm not searching for a hit, but like that's the name of the game, though.
True. And that's I think I've gone through this in the past, like just getting too much in my head and
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, oh, like I don't like that one specific, bar of this record and all that, and not even, letting it see the light of day just because of one minute thing that wasn't important. Well, everything's important. I don't want to say that, but shouldn't have been a deal breaker for that record. At least I'll say that.
Yeah.
And that brings me into, what do you think the biggest misconception that most independent or underground artists take, or at least the stance that they take
Mm-hmm.
on releasing music um, to get exposure, if that makes sense? Does that make sense?
Explain it again.
Okay, so yeah, I fucked that one up. I fucked that one up. So in the music business sense of things,
Yeah.
what do you think the main misconception or the belief that most artists have that's completely untrue um, in either making music or releasing music? Like, I can't God, I can't think of a example now, but I didn't have this question ready, so this is off the top of my head, so I'm not the best one. But
Sometimes, sometimes they're the best ones.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like, uh, like reaching out to somebody, like a way to present themselves, something like that, that a lot of artists do that might be completely wrong, or that a lot of artists don't do that they should be doing. There we go. That's the best way to put it right there.
I could speak on the second part a lot better than the first part,
Okay.
because every artist has their own journey and their own path. There's really no right way to attain your goals and blow up and whatever. So I mean, I can't say like if somebody does something that I would do it, but I can't be at the same time like you're wrong for doing this. I could nitpick for every artist that has blown up already. But as an artist who's not there yet, it does no good for me to nitpick their journey. So what I can say for people that are where I'm at and below is, one, you got to love what you're doing. It's the most important thing. If you don't love making music and love the process and know that it's going to be a long fucking journey, then it's not for you. You got to also understand that you're going to be alone at times. You're going to be, you know, so locked into the music that the outside world doesn't exist. And if you're not okay with that, the music's not for you. That's the next thing. The last thing is, once you make those songs, you need to just push them to the side. You need to drop them, because I have songs myself where I'm not like fully rocking with it. I know it's good, and I know people will like it. But then it's funny when I had people DM me saying this is my favorite song of yours, and just one person saying that makes it all worth it for dropping it. So I look at it in that way. It may not be my personal favorite, but it might be someone else's. So I want to give that person an opportunity, to find their favorite song. That's why I drop so much music. Not because I fuck with them all. I know they're good, but I'm not like super 100% behind, this particular song. So I would say like those three keys. Um, Networking, getting outside of your like comfort zone. If you're like a quiet, shy person, you need to network more. I personally like love sitting in my basement and making music all the time and not going in the outside world. So that's like one of my faults. So like this year I've thrived because I don't have anywhere to go. So
Perfect
I've been
time.
making music all the time. So it all works out, you know, in God's plan. So I just feel like, you got to make the best of every situation. Some people, you know, kind of what Mark Battles, said, you have to build off any momentum that you have. And that's the most important thing. Because once you get a certain spot and you have that shot, if you blow it, you don't know if you'll get it again, as cliche as that sounds. So it's just, I would say those are like four key points that I would tell any artist that is on this, journey stuff.
That's dope, and I think that's That was exactly what I was looking for. So good answer to my horrible question.
Thanks.
um, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people look at music and think it's easy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, I gotta just write it, get in there, record it, put it out. Like,
Yeah,
it's not at all. There's so much that goes on behind, you know, whatever you're putting out on Instagram or what you
right.
in you're putting in your music that nobody even has any clue about. Even me, I know I don't know, you know, nearly as much as I should, but I'm always trying to learn.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I think that's you hit it on the head there.
There's a one line I forget what Russ song it is, but they say like he says I paraphrase it, but the people the people praise what you practice in private, which is like that line, bro, is so damn eye opening when I heard that and realized like everything that I do internally in my basement making music is for all those people out there. So if they're able to enjoy what I'm doing in here, then I need to keep doing it. Cause like it fuels me internally, music wise, and it fuels them and inspires them. I've had people like say, you know, super inspiring things for my music that have made them feel some, you know, some type of way. So just like all those little messages make it worth it in the end.
I think what got you into, you know, making music? Like, what was it, like a record you heard when you were younger, a specific
I,
artist?
I don't know, honestly, like what got me into making music from another artist other than my homie Weston, who I'm rocking his shirt. He just shipped it
Okay,
when we were in high school. You'll definitely have to check him out too. I'll link you his music.
dope.
When we were in high school, he was the first one to start rapping, and he got me like super into it. I was kind of like his, you know, promotion guy, like, you know, telling everyone at school, sending them the links to like all the music and stuff like that. And then I kind of just started growing a love for freestyling and rhyming, just like every high school kid does. But something clicked in me where I knew it was something more. And I just remember being a junior in high school, rapping on GarageBand on my parents' computer up till 1 in the morning on school nights. Just music's terrible, completely terrible, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I just remember then finally going to a studio in Akron when I was a freshman in college, and the music was still terrible. That's the thing that like people don't realize. Like, there's a lot of music that I've made was real bad, but my love for it surpassed it, and I just didn't care putting it out because I love doing it, and I knew what it was going to sound like. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't have. They don't realize what it's going to sound like if you continue to put in the work nonstop, which I did for 5 years, and it took probably 4.5 years to get comfortable where I knew everything that I made, you know, was hitting the right spots. The flows were, you know, they were tight and they were good, and there was no, you know, awkward, weird, you know, parts when you're starting out. So it's like, I don't know. I just went on a long tangent there.
No, I like that, and I think you hit a big point. A lot of young guys, they think you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the case. Like, just like anything else, practice makes perfect, but you're never going to get perfect. So you got to keep practicing. So it's just, you hit a big point there that I think is important for a lot of young guys to hear.
Yeah. People think you're going to blow up in 1 to 2 years, and that's just the likelihood of that is just it's so low. Every artist that I've grown up to love, they have a 6 to 7 year backstory that not many people know, which is like, that inspires me because I know that one day when I blow up, people are going to say, oh, he did this, you know, in 2 3 years, but I'll know the real shit. Like, I'll know. And my fans that have been here now, that'll be there in the future, they'll know that this was a long time coming. It might take 10 years, but I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to try it.
I have mad respect for that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think your music is phenomenal, and I think anybody that has heard more than just like maybe one record, they can tell, and at least I can. The hard work that you put in is very glaring in your music. So, you
No,
know, whatever you're doing a fantastic job, and I give you mad respect for it for sure.
yeah, appreciate it.
But we're coming up on an hour here, man. I'm trying to hold these to an hour, you know, at least like that. It goes by too quick. I've said this the last like 3 episodes. I need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
extend it.
for
But
sure.
um, but yeah, for at least these first this first season or first few episodes, I want to try to keep it to an hour. But yeah, I would love to have you back for
Yeah,
sure. Any music you put out in the future, I'm following it. Don't, if you want to send it to me for submission, I'll listen to it, put it on the list if I like it, which I'm sure I probably will. But yeah, for sure.
but yeah,
But
appreciate you having me on, bro. Been watching all of them too that you've been doing. So it's cool seeing somebody like you. You need big ups, man. You're fucking grinding your ass off too, getting all these artists exposure. And I know one day your page is gonna blow up because you're putting in that work that all the people like the academics and stuff like that, they homegrown their shit, and you're gonna one day see the success in your page. Guarantee it, bro. Because you can tell that you love it. Every day it's like the Cato thing with you. I see something every day, the deserving or a podcast, and I'm like, that's something that I can appreciate. I can appreciate people that are dedicated to what they do. It doesn't have to be music. It could be someone that's dedicated to baseball or basketball. If I see that you have that, drive and focus, I'll rock with you and support you 100%. That's just how I'm ingrained.
well, I appreciate that as well, man. Much love for sure. And we'll be in touch for a long time, man. I'm following you to the end. That's for sure.
Thank you.
But yeah, before we go, if there's anything that you want to put out there, anything you got coming out, anything you got planned for 2021, let everybody know. And yeah,
pretty much, like I said, just finished the album 2 days ago. It sounded super fire. I'm probably thinking like a March to April drop. I'm still working on some videos that we got for it. Just more to come. I'm excited for this year. I mean, everything that I did last year is building up to this year. So it always gives me that, that hope. So just like what I'm making this year is going to be for next year. It's just the secret to success. You're always planning a year ahead or, 6 to 12 months because it's always going to give you that drive. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. It may not be this year. It could be next year, but I'm excited for it.
Dope, man. Stay with me after I sign off here. We'll chit chat after this a little bit, but yeah, man. Thank you everybody for listening. This is episode 6 with Don Kenobi. You can find him on Instagram at Don Kenobi Music, and I will link anything else down below for you to find his Spotify or wherever you stream music, his SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Yeah, I love y'all for listening. Love y'all if you come back and listen next time. But I'll still love you even if you don't. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir, man.